Hello, I'm Father Michael Casey, Director of Vocations for the Archdiocese of Hartford. During this month of June, as we're considering priestly vocations in our diocese and our need to pray for vocations with our upcoming ordinations, it's helpful to take a few moments and consider the overall picture for the vocation scope in our diocese. And if we look at it, simply the numbers don't lie. That we have, after Deacon Matt and Deacon Joe ordained, 13 good men in formation for the priesthood in the Archdiocese of Hartford. But there's a reality that these 13 are the totality of the potential new priests we have for our diocese in the next 6 to 8 years. That means until the year 2027, these 13 men are the future of the priesthood for the Archdiocese of Hartford. In that same amount of time, 25 to 30 priests may retire, and that our numbers of priests will be reduced from about 135 active down to about 105 to 100. 13 to replace 30. Those numbers don't add up. And they, as good as our men are, the expectation of 13 young, good, holy men replacing 30 or more active, experienced, dedicated, holy pastors is not a future that's necessarily promising by the numbers. But there is hope. You see, we need to begin looking for the next batch of 13, the next grouping, more than 13, 15, 20, 30, 40. And when we consider these numbers, we should consider that these new priests aren't going to come from somewhere else. And they're not going to be born today. This is not somebody else's problem. Rather, this is our responsibility as the church in Hartford to meet. A young man born today wouldn't be able to be ordained a priest until the year 2047, which means that the priests over the next 20 to 25 years are already alive. They're already here. They're part of our families. They're part of our parishes. They're going to our schools. They're already there. The next generation of priests for our diocese is already alive. They're already growing. They're already being formed in the faith. And so we need to pray for these young men, that God has already given us new priests. They just don't know it yet. We pray for these young men. We pray that they will hear the voice of God in their hearts, that they will be courageous, that they'll respond to that call. We should consider that those who are particularly dedicated in the faith, those who are open to this call, that we see when we see them at Mass, when they're part of our parish schools, when they're part of our religious education programs, part of our youth groups, we should encourage them. We should encourage them to be open to God's call. We should be praying for them. We should encourage them. The next generation of priests isn't going to come from somewhere else. They're going to come from here, now, part of our diocese, part of our families. It's time as a diocese that we stop looking to someone else to solve our spiritual needs, and rather that young men, courageous young men from our diocese, our families, our parishes, answer the call, that they rise up so they can hear the voice of God and they could say, "Here I am, send me." While the numbers don't necessarily present an encouraging picture, the faith of the people in the Archdiocese of Hartford does. And so we need to be open to this call. We need to be open to the way that the Lord is acting, and we need to have courage to invite, to encourage. And for those who are considering the potential that God may be calling them, the courage to respond, "Yes, here I am, send me, I will go."